Hi, everybody. It's Liz Costanzo, the 612 ISS for Social Studies located at headquarters in Alexandria, Virginia. And I am very excited to welcome you to quarter one professional learning. During quarter one professional learning, we're going to be focusing on disciplinary practice 5, which is economic and economic systems. And as you know from our program evaluation, that was one of the areas that we needed to do a little bit more emphasis on. We hadn't looked at it really over the past 5 years in professional learning. So we are going to be working on our practices this year. And once again, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to look at our data and to provide really great feedback for us. So thanks again on that. So to get started with today, I'm going to share my screen. And we're taking a look at what you see in the course overview. So our essential questions for the day: why learn social studies? How can we best prepare our students for their most important role, the role of citizen? And how can we support our learners in the disciplinary practices of the social studies? Our supporting question is, how can we help our students think like economists, and no matter what course you're teaching? Our learning objectives are here. As you can see, we're going to describe instructional practices for economics and economic systems. We're going to use best instructional practices or the secondary core instructional practices to engage our diverse learners. We're going to identify resources from the Federal Reserve that support teaching and learning of economics. And then you're going to have the time to create a mini lesson and a formative assessment on an economic practice that you can connect to one of your content standards. And if you noticed, I mentioned the Federal Reserve. I'm very excited to tell you that the Federal Reserve from St. Louis will be joining us today in the afternoon to talk about great resources that they have, great teaching strategies that you can apply to any course that you're teaching, whether it's US history, global studies, the Eastern world, or even economics. So I'm very excited to have them there joining us. And then I also know it's really important to make connections to the work that you're doing in your school. So at Back to School, we had professional learning that was about the multi-tiered system of support that you will be implementing in your classroom this year. So the disciplinary practices of social studies, those are tier one instruction or core instruction. So that will help you in implementing that part of the multi-tiered system of support. Then the learning walkthrough tool is also a part of this. And with our learning walkthrough tool, this is the one, just by having it in the classroom, you are using the adopted materials to support student learning, right? But when you add that mini lesson in here and you take some of those best instructional practices or the core instructional practices from secondary, then you're moving it up into engaging students, asking challenging questions, having kids ask questions. So whatever you put in your lesson plan will also be part of that hits many different parts of the learning walkthrough tool. So the chart that you see below is just simply from our multi-tiered system of support. We are focusing on C1, which is tier one or core academic instruction. And we are looking for we of course want to shoot for the top of the line here, right? Level 1, there's evidence in your classroom. So that's what we're here to do today. Once again, thank you so much for being here for this professional learning. And I really hope you get a lot out of it. Thanks again. Have a great day of learning.